it really isn't a whole lot to say. I thought we started the game the right way. I thought we played the right way. Uh, obviously, we had a tough time with DeRozan, as everybody has in the past 6 or 7 games. And then when we tried to trap him, get the ball out of his hands, Kobe White really hurt us too. So, I think they're a really good basketball team, and considering that they're missing, 2 or 3 really important guys, I think that they can be a huge factor in the East and when the playoffs start. You guys got questions? Go ahead.
All right, I guess we'll go ahead and start on Zoom. James Ham, go ahead.
Yeah, Alvin, you're 2-2 since the big shakeup. Just number one, how do you assess how you guys have played so far? And then number two, how do you work through this situation with Rashawn Holmes, because he just doesn't look like himself at all right now?
Well, hopefully, we come back from break. We can get him, back to being the old Rich. It's been tough on him. Sabonis is playing a lot of minutes, and he's not playing the minutes that he usually play. But some kind of way we got to get him back playing to the level that he was. And we have the break to do that, and then we'll have 2 really good days to have good hard practices and try to figure everything out.
Brandon?
Yeah, Alvin, De'Aaron scored at least 25 in every game since he's come back from that ankle soreness. What do you see out there that's going well for him on the offensive end?
Well, I think we've done a good job. We played with pretty good pace, but I think more so than that, he's just been really aggressive offensively in what he's trying to do as far as getting the ball to the basket and not getting the ball to the basket. He's been really good with his mid-range shots and even his three-point shots when they've gone under defensively. So I think he's done a really good job.
Tony?
Yeah, Coach, you also had a chance to, Trey Lyles had a chance to use his uniform tonight. Just want to get your thoughts. Went into the decision to play him tonight. Was just trying to let him get a little feel of the game playing with the Kings.
Well, he's a scorer, he's a shooter, and at the time we were struggling just a little bit. I thought he played well. The 5-6 minutes that he was in there. I think the thing that we're running into is that you can't play 10, 11 guys. I think that's really tough to do, and so hopefully he's going to get an opportunity to play and play quality minutes. We'll. After the All-Star break, there's some things that could change. So, I just think what you got to do is keep yourself prepared and keep working and be ready when the time comes.
Sean Cunningham?
Alvin, this stretch of games that you guys have had, I know it's just a handful of them, but what's concerning you most defensively? Do you see a lot of obviously there's room for improvement, but do you see a lot of things you can identify right away?
Well, guys, I think the one thing you gotta, it doesn't matter. Everybody has tried everything on DeRozan the last, 2.5, 3 weeks, and none of it have worked. So, I don't, I wish we could have done better, but we're no different than any other team in that department right there. And then what happens in this game in particular is when you start trying to double team him and get the ball out of his hands. He's such an unselfish guy, and and now you got Kobe White, who shot the ball exceptionally well over the last couple of weeks, also taking threes that we're trying to close out on. So, but I think in general, our defense is better, and it's going to continue to get better. We've got guys that we're playing that, has had basically one practice. So, there's some things that they'll have to learn as far as rotation and things like that, and I think we'll get better at it.
Chris?
Alvin, with the break coming up, first, just on a scheduling standpoint, are you guys doing anything when you plan on getting them back? And then secondly, is this coming at kind of a bad time because you want them to keep gelling with all the new guys, or do they need this break more than they need to just kind of bond?
Well, I just think we need practice days, but that being said, we can't have a practice until Tuesday anyway. So, we'll have Tuesday and Wednesday where we can get some practice time in, and you know, hopefully we can figure out some things from the standpoint of getting these guys initiated defensively, and then what we're trying to do offensively. I thought we were better tonight offensively. You know, we had 24 assists, and you know, we need to have those kind of numbers, which says that we're moving the basketball and things like that. I still think that we have turnovers at the most inopportune time sometime. You know, I mean, I don't know what we ended up with. I don't have on my glasses here, but you know, we ended up with, you know, 13 turnovers for 17 points. Now the 13 is a fine, that number is good, but the 17 points bother me a little bit. You know, that's telling me that there are live ball turnovers, and those are the kind of things that we want to take away. We want to be able to set our defense.
All right, guys, we only have time for one more question for Coach. So Jason Anderson, go ahead and ask your question, please.
Hey, Alvin, back to Rashawn. Just beyond the minutes, does it seem like, you know, he's having a little bit of a confidence issue right now? And have you had kind of a one-on-one conversation with him?
I've talked to him some, and obviously I talked to him more, but you know, it's just he's a guy that's been a starter since he got here. You know, I don't know, he started 130 something straight games, I think. So it's an adjustment for him too, you know, and so we just got to keep trying to figure out and work it out and get him back to the level where he was.